Do you want to build an app and you're not a developer? Well, let me show you how to build it with Jotform Apps. In this video, we're going to cover from beginner to advanced features. So follow me to my desktop right now. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is George and this is Jotform. We're going to get started by building an app right now. So we are currently located in my main workspace and we are going to view everything that's going on here on Jotform, including forms, AI agents, apps, and much more. Now we can go ahead and get started by clicking create here and selecting app, or we can jump into the main section where we can find all our apps. So let's go to my app, and in this case, we're going to view only apps. So let's go and create our first application, and we have several available options to get started. First off, we can start from scratch by adding every single element, page, section, straight from here. Or we can use a template, so there's 800 plus templates available currently as of this video. And if you find a template that fits your needs, this is a fantastic option to get started really quickly. Next option is if you want to build a store, you can still do this in Scratch, but this one goes straight into building a store. And you can clone an existing app. So if you already have an app that is the way you like it, but you just want to modify a few things, go ahead and clone an existing app. Now, let's get started from scratch. This is going to open up the app builder right here, and let me show you how to get around here before we get started with the actual building. Now on the left, we have our elements, we got our basic elements, and we have our widgets. We'll go through those in a bit. On the bottom, we have our sections or pages. Now pages will create the menu for you. Plus, when you add a button in the page, for example, you can take them to different sections. So if you add a contact page, you can take them to the contact page when they click on a button or by going into the menu. Don't worry, I'll show you how this works in a bit. And on the right, we have the app designer. In the designer, we can change the look and style plus the app layout. So if you don't like the way it's distributed here, you can go ahead and change it by changing the app layout right here, which is super easy and straightforward. And on the top, we have 3 tabs. We are currently located in the build tab, we have a settings tab, and we have a publish tab, which we'll go through those in a bit. Okay, so let's get started with our app. First thing I want to do is change the name of this app. This is going to be a flower store because that's what I want to build right now. Okay, then on the bottom, we have the pages. Before I add elements, I like to add pages because it helps me understand how I'm going to structure this app right here. So I'm going to add a first page, and this one is going to be the store. Remember, we are going to sell flowers. Second page is going to be the about us, and the last page will be contact. Okay, so now we have our pages, and on the preview on the right, we can see here in the menu that we have home, store, about us, and contact. So now we have our sections and we can get a clear view of how we're going to build our app. Now let's get started by adding elements. Now on the left, we're going to be able to view all our elements. I'm going to cover the most popular ones so you understand how they work. So first off, in the home section, first I want to add some text. So just go ahead and drag inside of here, and I'm going to say flower shop just for testing purposes. I can go ahead and AI edit this. I can change the alignment. In this case, I'm going to set it to the center, and I'm going to make it bold. So just pretty simple standard text right here. You can also add rich text in case you want to make this more customized with different fonts, different styles. You can do so with rich text. Next, I want to add an image. So let me go ahead and drag inside here an image. Here we go. I have the option to now upload my image. So let's go ahead and upload a quick image just for testing purposes. This is not the image I want to use, but it's just an idea of how this works. Now there's a little gear icon for properties to modify the look and style of this particular element that I've added. So each element will have different properties depending on the one that you add. In this case, I have the options for this image. So I got my general options, my actions, and conditions in case I want to add conditional logic to this. I'll go ahead and remove this since I don't want it right here. It's just an idea of how this can work. Now I'm going to add a different option here. I'm going to add a button. Now buttons are really useful because you can set the button to go into a different page or take them to a link or several options available. So let me show you. Again, we're going to click on the properties option here, and we have the button text. In this case, I'm going to say that this is going to go to the store. Here we go. The style for this button, I can go ahead and change the style straight from here. I'm going to do this kind of pinkish, dark pinkish style here. Okay, I can customize this if I don't like these colors. For the actions, I have several actions available. One, I can take them to another URL in case that's what I want to do. I can open a page, which is what I want to do in this case. I can take them straight to a form. So if I have a pre-built form here on Jotform, based on how to order your flowers, well, take them to that form. You can send an email, make a call, and open share model. In this case, I'm going to go to open a page, and the page option is going to be here on the bottom. In this case, it's going to go to the store. Let's go ahead and add more buttons here because we want to take them to each one of these sections with the option to use the menu or use a button. Next one is going to be about us. So about us, here we go. Again, in the actions, we're going to take them to a page. Here we go. And it's going to go to the about us. And I'm going to change the style to the one I'm using right now. Here we go. And the last button that I want to add is for the contact us. So now we can take them to different sections with buttons or the menu. Next one I want to show you is the form. Now the form, I'm going to add it straight in the contact section. So let's go into contact and I'm going to add my form right here. In this case, I don't have a specific flower selling form right now, so I'm going to use this one just for testing purposes. I've selected this form and now they can contact by going into this section right here. Okay. Now let me go ahead and show you another element. We can add a product list. So that is going to go in my store section. So let's go ahead and add it right here. And in product list, I have my available options by going into my products and my store properties. So first off, we are in products and we can set the products right here. There's already one product here for testing purposes. Let's go ahead and edit this one. So in this case, product name, I'm going to say pink flower. Here we go. The price for this flower is going to be 10 USD. Set the description, add an image. In this case, I'm going to select my testing image. Here we go. And let's go ahead and go into the options. So you can add a quantity selector. So if you want to allow to purchase a minimum and maximum, so in case it's not just one product selection, they can select several of these. You have that option right here. You also have the option to add product options. So if there's options with this, so for example, I said these are pink flowers, but maybe there's a dark pink, light pink, or short, long, etc. You have product options right here to set up. That is for the products, and adding a brand new product is super easy too. Just go ahead, again, go into each one of these properties. You can add product right here, or straight clicking on the add new product from here. Then you got your conditions. You can make it visible to everyone or visible to select on roles only. So that's to separate roles in this case. Now we have our store properties. This is really important because this is where we're going to add our payment gateway. So there's several available payment gateways that you can select here. So go ahead and select the one that fits your needs. So you'll be able to start selling straight from your app. Go ahead and select the currency and you'll be good to go. You got your product settings, you got your checkout page, and you have the available settings for all of this right here. So selling products in your app is way easier than you thought, right? Okay, so let's go back into elements. There's also a donation box, but since we've added the product list, it disables this one. We got an image gallery. So you saw how I've added one image. There's an option to add an image gallery in case you have several of these. So maybe here in the about us, I'm going to add an image gallery. Here we go. And I'll be able to add all the images I need right here. So go into properties, select the layout style, add the images straight from here. And you also have condition options to see who's going to view this based on what you said here. Okay. So several available options here for the image gallery. Now in the about us, we probably want to add, for example, a rich text. So we can describe our business model, our style, our history, etc. straight from here. If I go ahead and select it, you can see that we have a rich model. So it's more flexible than just adding text. So if you want to use this, super easy to use right here. Let's go ahead and remove it for this case. Now let's scroll down here. We have options like image slider. We have options to add a video. So in the about us, if you have a video of your business, go ahead and add it right here. Just go ahead and click on properties and replace this link, for example, with your YouTube video. So it's really easy and straightforward, like you can see here. Now you can shrink this along with several of these elements to add more elements inside of this section. So it's a great option here. Then we have the option to add a map. So in the about us, you can add a map here, or in the contact, or a page where you want to add your location. For example, in this case, I'll add it here in the about us. Now on the right, we have the properties for latitude, longitude, and the zoom level. Now you can grab these details. For example, if you search your business in Google Maps, you'll find in a link your latitude and longitude where you can replace right here, and it'll put the pin mark right where it goes. So it's really easy and straightforward. There's also testimonials, which would be a great option to add right here in the about us. So you can add your testimonials really easily right here. Just go ahead and remove these and add your own. Then you go ahead and click on this one just so you get an idea of how it works. So you got the image here. It could be a business or a person, for example, the actual testimonial, and go ahead and save it and it'll be added right here. And you can see it slides and it shows the next testimonial, which is a great option to sell. Now, testimonial would be a great option to add here in the About Us and the Store section. Now, let's go ahead and show you the social follow. So I can add this in the contact section, and in social follow, you have all your social media accounts right here that you can just go ahead and replace the link and it'll be good to go. If you remove the link, it's going to automatically remove the icon. So not to worry about making some customizations there, okay? Now let's go into data elements. There's tables, reports, and sandbox. Depending on your app, these might be useful or not. Now in this case, for example, I can add a page to accommodate these data elements from the table, reports, sandbox. So as I mentioned, that might be a better one for an app that's for team members where they can view these details. Let me go ahead and create a page right now. And I'm going to say for team, just so you get an idea. Here we go. And if I add a table, I can bring in a table from the ones that are available in my Jotform tables. Now, for example, if I want to bring in this coffee survey table, I can go ahead and bring it inside of here, which are details that we can preview. I can also add reports. So if I want to add a report based on something that I have already, go ahead and add it here. A sandbox, and it just depends if you want to use this or not. Then we have dividers and spacers. Dividers are good, for example, if you want to divide a section so it just doesn't look one after another. So that's a great option. And you have spacer too, in case, again, you don't want it to be one after another. So a lot of ways to customize your app. That is for the elements. That is for pages. There's also widgets. Widgets are really flexible. For example, you can do an iframe embed. So if you have an element that you want to bring in from somewhere else, just use the iframe. There's a data grid, PDF embedder, QR code to add right here, a WhatsApp button. That's a good one to add right here. So they have an option to select the store, about us, or contact us, and WhatsApp. Maybe WhatsApp would look better in the contact section, but you get the idea. Just go ahead and add it here. And there's several available widgets for different use cases in your app. So there's a lot of flexibility when building your app. Now let's go into the app designer. The app designer has several settings available here to make your app look really nice. So you got your general settings to set a color scheme. So for example, I'm going to go with a pinkish right here. I'm going to add an app background. So I'm going to use one of my images. I'm going to use this flower background. Here we go. So you can see here, we got that flower background. That's going to be reflected on the app. You can change the app background properties, the list background color, the font family, font color. Again, the app layout, as I mentioned, if you don't like the current layout, you can go ahead and change this here really easily. See how it shrinked everything. So you got more space to fit in. So that is all shrinked. You got no icons, all shrink, no icons, and there's several available options. In this case, I'm going to use the all shrink option. So a really easy way to customize the look and style of your app right here. Now, once you're good to go with the building, we're able to preview all of this by testing it out right here in the live preview. So if I select something, if I add it to the store, you can see it's added right here. If I want to view the About Us, if I want to view the contact section, all straight from here without going to the link or testing it somewhere else. You can test it straight from here. So it's a really great option. Now, if you want to view the look of a tablet and desktop, you can do so by selecting these right here. And we're currently viewing as admin. There's different views for anyone or for users. Like I said, depending if you set permissions to only view with certain roles, then you have the option to view them straight from here with the different roles. So it depends on you. Okay, so that is for the main builder. Now let's go into settings. In settings, there's several available options to cover here, which are really interesting. And I think you should take time to analyze these to see what you're going to need and not, okay? So first off, we have our app settings. Right now it's enabled. I can go ahead and disable it in case I don't want to use it afterwards. And then I have the option to disable on a date. So if this app serves a certain purpose for 2025 or 2026 only, and you can make it stop at the end of the year. So you can decide when you want to set that disabled option, okay? Your app language, there's several available languages right here. In this case, we are in English, okay? We got the add to home screen model. So if I want to turn this off, just go ahead and do so right here. Show QR code on desktop. So that's a great option. You can go ahead and customize it right here, and we can change a few details for the QR code. Continue forms later. So it's an option for them to start a form, and if they don't finish it, they can continue later. Steady progress bar, depending if you want to set that up. prevent the cloning. So if you don't want to clone this one, then we got our app name and icon. So the look and style of this. This is the flower store, but I don't like this icon basically because this is just a testing app. I can edit the icon right here and I can go ahead and change it. So if I want to change the app icon, I can do it straight from here. Then I have my splash screen look. So there's a splash screen when your app starts. We can go ahead and customize this right here. In case you don't like that color, you can go ahead and change it. So for example, I'll do a little bit more pinkish and light. Okay, here we go. And it just updates really quickly. And the font color, white, is fine. Push notifications, you can enable push notifications, which I highly recommend because these are super useful, especially when you're sending out a promotion or you want to notify them about something. This is a fantastic option. So set the notification and the notification content and send off. So great option to have here. And AI Chatbot. You can add an AI Chatbot into your app. Now, I'm going to go through that a little bit later, so we dedicate a section to adding the AI agent. Let's go into publish. Now we have our publish options. We can share our app straight from a link, so they can go ahead and open up the link and they'll be taken to the app. You can invite them via email, or you can share the app via QR code, WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, etc. QR code would be my favorite option because I know I can print out a nice looking flyer, or on the reception desk, have a QR code when someone can scan the QR code and it'll open up the app, which is pretty cool. Then we have settings here for additional details that you might need. You can make this private in case this is not a public app. Public access, company access, so only people in the company will be able to access this. And if it's public, you can make this a required registration or allow users to access their submissions through the app. So a lot of available options here in the settings. Then we have embed options. So if you want to embed this app on a website, it is possible with this code. So you can go ahead and preview this code to see how it's going to look. So you can embed this app on a website if you want to. So a lot of flexibility there. Then there's the app users. So you can create users here. And again, this depends on the type of app that you are going to create. So if this is a team app where only the team is going to use the app, go ahead and create the users right here. Give them the user role and then set the permissions in each one of the settings. Don't forget that by clicking on this, going to properties, going to conditions, you can set visible to selected roles only. In this case, there's 2 roles and I can make it only visible to those roles in case you want to use it that type of way. So for example, in the publish app users, I'm going to add a user here. I can invite someone via email or I can invite them via a link. That'll add a user right here and that'll have the options to select the roles, manage them, delete them, etc. all from here. What if we want to add the AI agent into our application? Let's go to AI Chatbot. We can add the AI agent. I can build one right now from scratch. I can select an existing agent. So if I already have a flower store agent that I've built, I can go ahead and select it and it'll be added to my app. I can use a template or I can clone myself. Let me go ahead and use a template for this purpose. Here we go. And there's several available agents. So right now I'm going to select this one, the sales agent. Let's go ahead and use this one. And that agent is going to be added into our Jotform Workspace. And we'll be able to customize every single aspect of this agent. I'll show you a bit how to customize this in a bit. Okay, here we go. We are now located in the AI agent builder. Since we selected a template, there's already most of the details filled out, but we need to fine tune this to our own business and needs. You'll be able to customize every single aspect of your agent right here. So we are now in the build section. Customizing this agent is easier than you think, and this will be added to your app on Jotform. So we are currently located in the builder. We can go ahead and select on the settings right here, and we can select what we want to allow or not. So for example, do we want to allow chat? Yes. We got voice, we can enable WhatsApp, we can select forms, presentation, and view the chat history. Maybe we don't want to allow chat history. Just go ahead and turn this off, and that's going to update right here. Then we have the greeting. So in this case, there's an AI generated greeting message. If we want to make a simple message where this is going to be straightforward all the time, we can set this one up right here, or we can let AI generate the greeting message for us. We can show buttons. So in this case, to get started, we have these available buttons, and you can add more buttons right here. Now, training this agent to customize it to your own business is super easy, okay? We are located in the training tab. There's an AI persona here. In this case, we can set what that persona is going to be about. So in this case, his name is Liam. This is a sales agent, and I'm going to say for flowers, since that's what we need it for. And he needs to understand what his role is, default language, the tone of voice, the chat conversation style. So if it's going to be minimal or really chatty, just go ahead and set this up right here. We have our settings for our chat guidelines where you can set it up right here for the voice settings and for the email. Then we have the knowledge base. So adding knowledge to your agent is super easy. Let me show you. So for example, if I want to add knowledge, just go ahead and click on knowledge, add new knowledge, and you can add text right here based on what we need. For example, frequently asked questions, product features, service guidelines. And this is just a way to add knowledge via text, okay? Which is not the easiest way, but if that's easy, if you already have a document, a PDF that you just want to copy and paste, that is possible. But you can add the document if you don't want to do the copy and paste thing, okay? So in file, we can upload files right here. So if you have documents, you can go ahead and add text files, PDFs, etc. And it's going to grab that knowledge and understand it. So it has all that information to serve to the people who are chatting with your agent. We can also do links. So for example, if this is a flower store and I have a link to the flower store, just go ahead and add those details there. So it feeds off those details and it has it for them to serve. So if you have your business hours, your address, your phone, the type of flowers, your about us, etc., it's going to read all that information and it's going to be able to have it stored so it can provide it to someone when they ask for it, okay? Now you can recrawl the site daily, weekly, or monthly, depending if you have a lot of changes on your website. Daily would be great. If you don't, monthly would be more than fine. Or if you don't need it to crawl, just go ahead and turn this off. Then you got actions, which is conditional logic. In this video, I won't cover this right now because it's really extensive. There's a dedicated video for this, so go ahead and check that out. We got tools where you can connect your AI agent to several tools. You got forms where your agent is tied to that form. So if you have a flower form for that, go ahead and add that form right here. Remember, we are located in a template. So these forms are added here via the template, but we can go ahead and remove these. And you can teach your agent. So you can talk to your agent based on your business, what people might ask, to make sure that your agent is behaving the way you want, that your agent is responding the way you want, and the agent has the information that you needed to serve to the people who are chatting with your agent. If not, you can go ahead and add that knowledge right here. And by chatting with it and not knowing questions, it'll add the questions over here so you can respond to them manually, which is questions and answers. In this case, there's already a few questions and answers that are added right here. But if it doesn't know the question, it'll add it for you right here, and then you can add the response. So it has it ready for it in the future to respond. Then we have our publish for the agent. Now in this case, we are going to publish our agent in our Flower app, but you can go ahead and set up the agent standalone, add it to your website or somewhere else. In this case, let me go ahead and rename this really quickly, Flower Sales Agent. We're good to go. Now let's go back to our app to see how this agent is going to preview. So let's go into our Jotform section. Let's go into our Flower Store application. Let's go ahead and edit. We are now located here. Let's go into settings, AI Chatbot. Let's add our agent. Let's select an existing agent, and it's our Flower Sales Agent. Let's go ahead and select this agent right now. And we have a bit of settings right here, but the main editing in the AI agent section. You can set the greeting here if you want to enable this or not. Maybe it's too invasive. You can go ahead and turn off the greeting message. In this case, I'm going to do this. Open by default. So don't open automatically, or you can open automatically. In this case, no, I don't want it to be invasive in the app. Do you want it to pulsate? That could potentially captivate someone to click on it, which could be good or not. The position, left or right. Okay, so let's preview our app right here. Here we go. And we have our agent ready to go here. So I can go ahead and select it, and it's going to open up the AI agent. Remember, Liam is a flower agent. It even added a little flower icon right here. So it already understands what it's meant for, since I've added that this is a flower sales agent. Okay, so it's really easy and straightforward. We got our chat, we got our voice, we got our forms. And if you want to change the look and style of this agent, go into the AI agent section. So it's easy and straightforward to add your agent into your app. Now, apps can be downloaded and accessed offline, just like native apps, without having to go into the app store. So it's really easy and practical. This is available on all the plans here on Jotform, including the free tiers. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Sign up right now and build your app right away. I hope you like this video. Please let me know here in the comments what you think about Jotform apps and what you would like to see in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified when new videos come out. And that's a wrap.